Parliament has two houses, and previously we studied that Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In previous session we discussed thoroughly about Lok Sabha. Now we are going to see about Rajya Sabha. Okay, see Rajya Sabha in Article 80 of the Indian Constitution deals with the composition, election, procedure and function of Rajya Sabha. What is it? Article 80 of Indian Constitution deals with the composition, election procedure and functions of Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha is also known as upper house or second chamber in the Union legislature. Rajya Sabha is also known as upper house or second chamber in the Union legislature. It is also called as the Council of States because here the members are elected indirectly, so that it is also called as the Council of States. And the Rajya Sabha membership depends upon the population of the state. Okay, the Rajya Sabha membership depends upon the population of the state. The Rajya Sabha was constituted on April 3rd, 1952 and its first sitting was held on May 13, 1952. See, the first Rajya Sabha was constituted on April 3rd, 1952 and its first sitting was held on May 13, 1952. Okay, now we are going to see about the composition. Okay, see, the Rajya Sabha consists of members representing the states and union territories. Okay, the Rajya Sabha consists of members representing of states and union territories, whereas the Lok Sabha members are elected directly. Okay, so its total strength is 250. Out of them, its total members are 250. Its total members are 250, and out of them 12 members are nominated by the President. 12 members are nominated by the President on the advice of the Council of Ministers and Prime Minister. Okay, what is it? See, the total strength of Rajya Sabha is 250. Out of them, 12 members are nominated by President on the advice of Union Council of Ministers and PM, Prime Minister. Okay, there will be chairman and deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha. See how there is a speaker, deputy speaker, panel of speakers like that. Here, the head of the Rajya Sabha is chairman. Okay, the head of the Rajya Sabha is chairman and deputy chairman. Okay, in the absence of the chairman, the deputy chairman acts as the chairman. Okay, so chairman is the presiding officer. He conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha. Who conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha? The chairman conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha. The deputy chairman presiding over the meetings of the house in the absence of the chairman. So here the deputy chairman, in where the speaker is absent, the deputy speaker handles the charge. Like that here, if the chairman is absent, in the absence of the chairman, the deputy chairman take over the meeting in the place of chairman. Okay, once again see the composition of Rajya Sabha. It consists of members representing of the states and union territories. Its total strength is 250. Out of them, 12 are nominated by the President on the advice of Union Council of Ministers and Prime Minister. There will be a chairman and a deputy chairman in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, chairman is the presiding officer. He conducts the meeting. In the absence of the chairman, okay, the deputy chairman acts as the chairman. He conducts the proceedings. Okay, so the vice president acts as the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. So at present, Venkaiah Naidu is the ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Election of Rajya Sabha. Election of Rajya Sabha. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the State Legislative Assembly. these members are not elected directly by the constitution members, so constituency members, so that, understand, it is indirect elections. So the members of Rajya Sabha are elected by the state legislative assemblies. The election takes place by means of proportional representation according to the members of the state. These persons are elected. The Election Commission of India organizes these elections. So we will conduct the elections of this. The Election Commission of India organizes these elections. Okay, qualifications. What are the qualifications of the Rajya Sabha members? See, first, he shall be a citizen of India. What is the first one? He shall be a citizen of India. He shall have completed 30 years of age. He shall have completed completed 30 years of age, and he shall not hold any office of profit under the union or state government. He should not be in any government position in state government or the central government. He shall be resident of the state for a maximum of 6 months, because it is a state representation, so that the person who is going to contest in the elections must be resident of the same state at least 6 months. Okay, he should not be insane or bankrupt. Okay, so he must be a very good person, and he shall possess such other qualifications as prescribed by the Parliament. Understand? And the rules and regulations which lie in the constitution, he must follow those. Okay, these are the qualifications. Once again, see, he shall be citizen of India. He shall have completed 30 years of age. He shall not hold any office of profit under the union or state government, and he shall be a resident of the state for a maximum of 6 months, and he should not be insane or bankrupt, and he shall possess such other qualifications as prescribed by the Parliament. Okay, next, term of office. Term of office. So it is a permanent house. Like Lok Sabha, it never dissolves, so that it is a permanent house. Okay, it is a permanent house. Tenure of the members is 6 years. Their Lok Sabha members' tenure is 5 years. Here, the Rajya Sabha members' tenure is 6 years. Okay, it is not subjected to dissolution. So I told you, no, it never dissolve. Okay, Rajya Sabha never dissolves. Election to Rajya Sabha is called biannual elections. What it is called? The elections which are conducted to Rajya Sabha is called as biannual elections. What is the meaning of biannual elections? It means 1/3 of its members shall retire at the end of every 2 years. Understand? All persons at a time, they won't retire. So that 1/3 of its members shall retire at the end of every 2 years. Okay? Once again you see elections. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the state legislative assemblies. Okay, it is not direct elections, it is indirect elections. So the elections takes place by the means of proportional representation. It depends upon the population of the state. Okay, the Election Commission of India organizes these elections. These elections are indirect elections, so these elections are organized by the Election Commission of India. Okay, qualifications of a Rajya Sabha members. He shall be a citizen of India. Next, he shall have completed 30 years of age. Okay, he shall not hold any office of profit under union or state government, and he shall be a resident of the state for a maximum of 6 months. He must be a resident of that particular state for maximum 6 months, and he should not be insane or bankrupt, and he shall possess such other qualifications as prescribed by the Parliament. Okay, term of office. It is a permanent house. It is not dissolved like Lok Sabha. Tenure of the members is 6 years. There the Lok Sabha members tenure is 5 years. Here Rajya Sabha members tenure is 6 years. It is not subjected to dissolution. There the Lok Sabha dissolves, but here the Rajya Sabha never dissolves. Election to Rajya Sabha is called as biannual elections because it never dissolves. So it is known as biannual elections. It means 1/3 of its members shall retire at the end of every 2 years. All members never retires at a time, so that it is a permanent house. The 1/3 of its members shall retire at the end of every 2 years. So now we are going to see the sessions of Rajya Sabha. The Rajya Sabha, like Lok Sabha, meets at least twice a year. Previously we saw that, what is that, budget session, monsoon session, winter session. Like that, here also there are sessions. At least it meets twice a year. The Rajya Sabha, like Lok Sabha, meets at least twice a year. There shall not be a gap of more than 6 months between the two sessions. For the first session and the second session, there must not be gap between more than 6 months. Okay. The Vice President of India acts as the ex officio chairman. Who conducts these Rajya Sabha meetings? Vice President acts as the ex officio chairman, and the Vice President conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha. Okay. Quorum. Quorum means the minimum attendance. Okay. So 1/10 of the total members must attend for conducting the meeting. So this is known as quorum. Okay. So 1/10 of the total members shall attend to conduct this meeting. This is known as minimum attendance, is known as quorum. Okay. Salary and allowances. At present, members of Rajya Sabha gets monthly salary includes with allowances rupees 1,32,000. Okay. What is the salary of Rajya Sabha members? Okay. At present, every member of Rajya Sabha gets a monthly salary, includes all the allowances, 1,32,000. After completion of the tenure, he gets a monthly pension of 20,000. After completing their tenure, they get pension monthly 20,000 rupees. And other facilities like accommodation, medical, telephone, etc. is entitled to par with the members of Lok Sabha. So like Lok Sabha members, Rajya Sabha members also gets all the allowances, facilities like accommodation, free accommodation, medical facilities, telephone, etc. All they will get as allowances. Okay. And chairman of Rajya Sabha, the Vice President of India acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. The Vice President of India acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. Once again, you see the sessions like Lok Sabha sessions. Here also they conduct sessions. Here the Rajya Sabha, like Lok Sabha, meets at least twice a year, 2 times per year, and there shall not be a gap of more than 6 months between the two sessions. Okay, for first meeting and the second meeting, the gap should not be more than 6 months. And the Vice President of India acts as the who will conduct these meetings, the ex officio chairman. The Vice President of India conducts the meetings. Okay, quorum 1/10. Quorum means the minimum attendance. Okay, 1/10 of the members shall attend for conducting the meetings. 1/10 of the total members must attend for the meeting. That is the quorum of Rajya Sabha. Salary and allowances. At present, every member of Rajya Sabha gets a monthly salary, includes with the allowances of rupees 1,32,000. After completion of their tenure, after their retirement, they get 20,000 rupees as the pension. And other facilities like accommodation, medical, telephone bills, everything along with the Lok Sabha members they do get. Okay. And the Vice President of India acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. He conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha. So, Deputy Chairman. See, the Vice President acts as a ex officio chairman of Rajya Sabha. So, next person is Deputy Chairman. In absence of the Chairman, the Deputy Chairman acts in the position of Chairman. So, the Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha is elected by the members of the Rajya Sabha amongst the members. From them, they select one member as a Rajya Sabha has a vice president as a ex officio chairman and a deputy chairman also. He receives a monthly salary of 90,000. What is his salary? 90,000 is his monthly salary. In absence of the chairman, deputy chairman acts as a chairman and presides over the meetings of the Rajya Sabha. If the chairman is absent in the place of the chairman, the deputy chairman acts and he proceeds the meetings. Okay, and panel of vice chairman. So the chairman of Rajya Sabha nominates 6 persons among his members as panel of chairpersons. See, there speaker, deputy speaker, pro tem speaker, like that. Here also, if the vice president, if the chairman was absent, the deputy chairman will act as a chairman. If they are both at a time, the deputy chairman and the chairman, if both are absent at a time, from among these persons who panel of vice chairmen, one person act as a chairman. Okay, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha nominates 6 persons among his members as panel of vice chairpersons to conduct the legislative procedures of Rajya Sabha in absence of both the chairman and deputy chairman. If the chairman and deputy chairman, if both are absent, then the panel of vice chairmen acts as a chairperson of the meetings. Now we are going to see the powers and functions of Rajya Sabha chairman. Now we are going to see the powers and functions of Rajya Sabha chairman. Who is Rajya Sabha chairman? See, already I told you, chairman is now we are going to see the powers and functions of Rajya Sabha chairman. The Rajya Sabha chairman presides over the meetings of Rajya Sabha. He conducts the meetings of Rajya Sabha with discipline, dignity and decorum. He conducts the meetings with discipline, in a disciplined manner and in a dignified manner, and he allows the members of the part in power and opposition to introduce various bills in the house and carry out discussions on them. He allows the members of the part in the power and opposition to introduce various bills in the house and carry out all decisions on them. He conducts voting on various bills. And announces the results. He appoints the Secretary General and exercises control over the persons he looks after everything in a correct manner. He conducts voting on various bills and announces the results. He appoints the Secretary General and exercises control over the Secretariat and personnel of Rajya Sabha. He allows the ministers to make announcements in the Rajya Sabha. He allows the persons to make announcements in the Rajya Sabha. He participates in a joint sitting of the Parliament as the chairman of Rajya Sabha. He participates in the joint sitting. Joint sitting means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. When both are going to discuss, he sits in that parliament and as a chairman of Rajya Sabha. He announces the panel of vice chairmen to conduct the meetings of Rajya Sabha. He announces the panel of vice chairmen to conduct the meetings of Rajya Sabha. He examines the cases regarding violation of rules, if any, in the house. He examines the cases regarding violation of rules in the house, and he conducts elections. Elections to the deputy chairman, and he announces the results and he appoints a deputy chairman. He conducts the elections to the office of the deputy chairman and he appoints the deputy chairman of Rajya Sabha. Types of bills in Parliament. Now we are going to see types of bills in Parliament. A bill does not become law until it is passed by the legislature. Any bill must first introduced in the Lok Sabha, After approval in the Lok Sabha, it goes to the Rajya Sabha, and after approval in the Rajya Sabha, it goes to the President. Then after signature of the President, it makes a bill. So like that, a bill, then it becomes an act. So a bill does not become a law until it is passed by the legislature. Legislature means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President. Okay, next, a bill does not become until it is passed by the legislature. Once a bill has been enacted into law, it is called as an act. Okay, once this process completes, what is that? Introducing the bill in Lok Sabha. After approval in the Lok Sabha, it introduces in the Rajya Sabha. Next, it goes for the assent of the President. Then it becomes, the bill changes as an act. Then the bill changes as an act. Bills introduced in the Parliament are of two types. How many types of bills are there? Two types of bills are there which are introduced in the legislature. See, what are they? Public bill, which is introduced by the government, and private bill introduced by the private members. Okay, once again, public bill, it is introduced by government bill, it is also called as government bill. And second one is private bill, private members introduces this bill, so private bill. Okay, the public bills are introduced in the Parliament, whereas the private bills are introduced by any member of the Parliament other than a minister. See, the public bills are introduced in the Parliament, only in the Parliament. Okay, and whereas the private bills are introduced by any member of the Parliament other than a minister. Any person can introduce the bill in the Parliament because it is a private bill. Okay, so here the bills are classified into four categories. How many categories? The bills are classified into four categories. First one is ordinary bills, second one money bill, third one financial bill, and fourth one constitutional amendment bill. Once again, see, bills are classified into four categories: ordinary bills, money bill, finance bill, and constitutional amendment bill. So first we are going to say about ordinary bills. Ordinary bills are concerned with any matter. They are concerned with any matter other than financial matters. Except financial matters, all the matters can be in the ordinary bill, ordinary things. Okay, so it is known as an ordinary bill. Example, taxation, public expenditure, etc. comes under into ordinary bill. Next one, financial bill. What is the next one? Financial bill. Financial bill concerned with the financial matters. See here, financial bill is totally different from money bill. With that in your mind, financial bill is totally different from money bill. So financial bill concerned only with the financial matters, understand, but different from money bills. What comes under this? Revenue, expenditure of the country comes under into financial bills. Okay, next, constitutional amendment bill. What's the next one? Constitutional amendment bill. So these bills concerned with the provisions of the constitutional amendment. If any changes in the constitution, then the bill which is going to produce in the legislature is known as a constitutional amendment bill. Amendment means change. So the constitutional changing, for the changing of the constitution, the bill which we are going to introduce is known as constitutional amendment bill. And the next one is money bill. What's the next one? Money bill. Money bill concerned with borrowing money by the government and consolidated fund of India. How much money we borrowed, understand, from other countries, in which way, how to give it back. So everything like that by the government, and consolidated fund, how much consolidated fund is there, how they are using it, that everything look after by in the money bill. Once again, see this one, types of bills in the Parliament. A bill does not become law until it is passed by the legislature. Till a bill was passed through the legislature, means Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and the assent of the President, it is not going to become as an act. once a bill has been enacted into law, it is called an act. So after completing this three process, means introducing in the Lok Sabha, next Rajya Sabha, then President, and it is called as an act. It changes into act. Bills are introduced in the Parliament are of two types. What are they? Public bill, which is introduced government bill, and private bill, private members bills. The public bills are introduced in the Parliament, whereas the private bills are introduced by any member of Parliament other than a minister. So we can introduce to any member in the Parliament private bill. So these are the bills. Bills are classified into four categories. Bills are classified into four categories. What are they? Ordinary bill, money bill, finance bill, and constitutional amendment bill. So first one, ordinary bill. Ordinary bills concerned with any matter other than financial matters. Other than financial matters does not come under into ordinary bills. So financial matters, what are they? Taxation, public expenditure, etc. Next, financial bill. What is the next one? Financial bill. So concerned with the financial matters. See, financial bills are different from money bills. So that here very carefully, financial bills are different from money bills. So financial bills, example, revenue or expenditure. And the third one is constitutional amendment bill. So the changes in the constitution comes under into to get any changes in the constitution, further to introducing a bill is known as constitutional amendment bill. And the last one was money bill. What is the last one? Money bill. Concerned with borrowing money by the government, consolidated funds of India comes under into the money bills. Law making procedure in Indian Parliament. Law making procedure in Indian Parliament. I told you in previous only that which are the laws which are useful for the citizen and the laws which are useful for the development of India are made in the legislature. So it is not so easy. Law making procedure in Indian Parliament. The law making procedure in the Indian Parliament has 5 stages. How many stages it has? 5 stages. First stage, the bill in the first stage, the bill will be drafted and will be introduced in the Parliament with the permission of the Speaker. First, the bill will be drafted. Draft means they write it. And next what? It is introduced in the Parliament with the permission of the Speaker. First, to introduce the bill, the first stage is the Speaker must give permission to introduce the bill in the Parliament. That is the first stage. Okay. Second, stage 2. 3 readings take place in this stage on the bill in the House. So, in the Lok Sabha, in a bill which is introduced there, they goes on 3 readings. Okay. 3 times they refer it, means they discuss on it. Okay. And discussions will be completed and the voting can be conducted on the bill in the first house. So first they discuss thoroughly about the bill and they conduct voting. 2 by 3 persons must agree. That is voting. Okay. See once again, second stage. 3 readings takes place in this stage on the bill in the House. Discussions will be completed and the voting can be conducted on the bill in the first house. First they read it, next they will discuss thoroughly on it, and next it completes in the, that is the process completes in the first house. Next stage 3, the bill will be transmitted to the second house. See, first house is Lok Sabha, second house is Rajya Sabha. So after approval of the bill in the Lok Sabha, it goes to Rajya Sabha. See, the bill will be transmitted to the second house for its concerns. The second house, like the first house, considers the bill at various stages. There also they goes on 3 readings. In second house also the bill goes on 3 readings and all the persons will discuss thoroughly on it. Okay. And stage 4, in case of deadlock, okay, in case of deadlock, the President of India convenes a joint session of the 2 houses. Okay, in case of deadlock, if both are approved or if both are not approved it, then in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the President will conduct a joint meeting of the two houses. The fate of the bill will be decided by the decision of the majority members in both the houses of parliament, whether it becomes a bill or it goes to the dustbin. There the fate of the bill decides in the joint session of the both houses in the parliament. Okay, that is the fourth stage. And stage 5, when a bill is passed by the two houses, when the bill is passed in the both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the speaker sends the bill to the president for his assent. After thorough discussion in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, the bill will send to president by speaker. Okay, and when the president gives his assent, the bill becomes law and comes into force. After approval of the president, the bill becomes a law act. Okay, see once again, law making procedure in Indian Parliament, it has 5 stages. Okay, stage 1, the bill is drafted and introduced in the Parliament and with the permission. First, the bill must be introduced by the permission of the speaker. Okay, stage 2, 3 readings takes place in the stage on the bill in the house. 3 times they thoroughly discusses on it, and discussions will be completed and the voting can be conducted on the bill in the first house. They conduct the voting. 2 by 3 persons must be approve the bill. Okay, and the third stage, the bill will be transmitted to the second house. Okay, after approval in the first house, it goes to the second house. Means after approval in the Lok Sabha, it goes to Rajya Sabha. Considers the bill at various stages. With the second house, like the first house, considers the bill at various stages, like how they introduced the bill, how they start reading, 3 readings completed, like that everything goes on here in the second house also. And stage 4, in case of deadlock, the President of India convenes a joint session. If it was a tie-up, then President calls the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Then he conducts discussion on it. The fate of the bill will be decided by the decision of the majority members in both the houses of parliament. Then if a majority of the persons approves it, then it becomes a bill. So it is dependent, the fate of the bill depended on the sessions, 2 sessions of both parliament, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. And stage 5, when a bill is passed by the 2 houses, first in Lok Sabha it was passed by 2 by 3 of majority, and in Rajya Sabha also it was passed. Okay, if the bill was passed in both the houses, the speaker sends the bill. After that, the speaker sends these bills to the president. Okay, after the assent of the president, after the bill of the signature of the president. Okay, when the president gives his assent, the bill becomes law and comes into force. If the president agrees it, the president signs on the bill, then it changes as a law and it comes into force.